One of the best ways to climb in any ranked game is to do something called meta slaving, where you play the most powerful heroes or champions or whatever variant the game has. You're playing the most powerful version of it. In today's video, we're going to talk about the best heroes for climbing in Season 3 of Overwatch. These are mainly my picks using some recent tournaments and my own experiences as a basis for why I think they'll work well. Let's start with supports today. I always start with DPS, so let's switch things around. For the support category, the two heroes I recommend for climbing are Lucio and Zenyatta. Ana was recently nerfed, so her nano boost isn't as powerful as before. While she still was seen in pro play, I think Zenyatta will serve most Overwatch players a little bit better, because we're not all pros. Orbs of Discord help deal with the many tanks that are running around right now, and you'll be able to deal your own damage as Zenyatta, so you can also kind of carry from this role. Lucio, like always, is extremely powerful. His AoE speed boost is unrivaled. His AoE healing is very good as well, so not much has changed there. Even with some small nerfs, his essence is still the same, and Lucio is still very powerful. The interesting thing about the support category, though, is that I think every support except Symmetra is viable right now. Good Ana players will still make her work, and at certain times, Ana can be better than the other supports, depending on the situation. Also, Mercy can kind of stomp on teams that don't know how to deal with her revive, so Mercy right now probably won't be a bad pick either. My two personal favorites, though, are Lucio and Zenyatta for the reasons I explained. Now let's move on to the tanks of Overwatch, the big meta definers right now. Honestly, right now, I'd say there are 3 tanks worth playing, and you can even put them all in one team. Reinhardt, Deva, and Roadhog. Even though Soldier can rip through Rein's shield, I still think he's valuable. His shield can protect teammates from powerful Deva bombs, whole hogs, and many other attacks. On top of this, in areas lower than pro play, people don't always know how to deal with his shield, and if one team has a Reinhardt, they can often push harder than the other team. So I'd say still use him, especially on 2 capture point and hybrid maps. He's pretty good on Escort, not as good on King of the Hill, but I still think he's a good tank right now. Deva is up next on our list because her recent super buff is just insane. With extra HP, Deva survives a fair bit more than she used to, but the real kicker is her added mobility. Something many people don't think about is that increasing Deva's speed and mobility also increases her damage because her damage drop-off is so steep. Now that she can stick to enemies much better than before, matchups that used to crush Deva, like Zarya, are easily won by Deva. You just left click. If an enemy gets too far, you boost towards them. She can 1v1 almost every hero in the game now with 0 skill required. There are some exceptions, but right now, Deva is insane and could potentially be the easiest hero to climb with. Finally, we have the big pig, Roadhog. I've always thought Roadhog was OP, but I never said anything because I thought that was just an unpopular opinion. Now, though, I'll say it. He seems really good. Really good. Statistics alone make him look like a monster. More DPS than some damage heroes, 3 times the HP, a self-heal, and an ability that allows you to insta-kill. He's just a solid hero all around. If you play around his only weakness, which is Roadhog's lack of mobility, he is insane. Running him with Ana, like I mentioned before, is especially good because he can go for risky picks and survive through her insanely high burst healing. On top of this, he shreds Reinhardt's shield, and if the enemy team doesn't have a Reinhardt, he can hook people freely, so he's really good in both situations. As a whole, I think tanks right now are going to be the best to climb with. All 3 of those ones I chose, maybe even Zarya if you're good at her, and maybe Winston if you're running a dive comp. Either way, if you're looking for heroes to play this season, tanks are the name of the game right now, and if you pick any of the 3 I just mentioned and get good at them, you can definitely climb. Now, let's move on to the DPS category of heroes. For this video, we'll separate them into their offense and defensive categories that the game uses, instead of just clumping them together like I normally do. For the defensive category, I have 1 hero and 1 honorable mention hero. The best hero, by far, from the defensive category right now is Mei. Even after some small nerfs, Mei is still seeing lots of play, and her utility is still insane, even on attack. On top of this, her alternate fire hits for a lot of damage, so she has that going for her as well. She also counters many ultimates, tank ultimates especially, with her Ice Wall. Whole Hog, Self-Destruct, Earth Shatter, and sometimes even Graviton Surge are all countered by a very well-placed Ice Wall from Mei. Just beware, when trying to wall off an enemy from their team, don't wall off the Devas that are running around everywhere, because they can just fly right over it. Our honorable mention is Junkrat. With less Zaryas than before, you don't need to worry about feeding her charge. You should beware though, because you still do charge enemy support ultimates somewhat fast. Right now though, honestly, Junkrat doesn't seem like a terrible pick. Lots of the tanks have low mobility, or at least the ones being picked have very predictable mobility, and you can usually hit them for a lot of damage with your frags, and AoE damage on top of that. So if you're holding at a choke point, I think Junkrat right now could be pretty crazy. And if the enemy team isn't running a flanker, he could be even crazier, because we've been seeing a lot of no flanker compositions with either like Soldier 76 and McCree, or Soldier and Reaper, and this is in public games, by the way, not pro play, but like in public games, you see no flankers being run sometimes because Genji is slowly getting very weak, and although Tracer is good, not many people are good at her. So with less flankers around, more tanks around, and less Zarya's around, Junkrat may be able to rise a little bit in the rankings. Try him out, he might be pretty good. And finally, we're going to talk about our friends, the offense heroes. I have two heroes that are far better than the rest in my opinion, Soldier 76 and Tracer. Soldier, I'm sure, doesn't surprise any of you. His damage now is insane. He can deal lots of damage to the tanks that are everywhere. You'll see tanks are pretty much the common theme of these videos. They're just crazy. They're so powerful. And he's just a good pick right now. Tracer, though, may surprise some of you. Tracer has always been good, always been a good pick, but slowly over time, she's been getting a little bit better because Genji has been slowly getting worse. We had the initial nerfs to Genji that brought down his power level a lot, and Tracer was still good around then. Then we had some smaller nerfs to Genji, like removing his triple jump, and now removing his ledge boost, and now they're also buffing lots of Genji's counters. We don't have time to go into it in this video, but just know Genji has been getting slowly weaker. And with Genji getting weaker, the other flankers are going to see more play, meaning Tracer. Tracer right now has taken the spotlight as the best flanker by far. She's good on attack, she's good on defense, and a good Tracer can do a lot. Honestly, she's one of the best carry heroes right now. I think hands down, you're gonna be better off playing a tank, or if you really want to master a hero, maybe something like Widowmaker. But if you want a good balance of skill-based heroes and someone who's also in the meta, Tracer could be your best bet. The skill cap on Tracer is much higher than the skill caps on the tanks, so she might be a little better for climbing in that regard if you're really willing to put the time into becoming a good Tracer. She harasses tanks a lot too, so that's a plus. Before we go, I'd like to inform you all of some heroes that are really not as good as they used to be. That way you don't pick them without really knowing what you're getting into. The first one is Reaper. Now Reaper is still a good pick. He's always been a solid, reliable pick, but just know he's not nearly as powerful as he used to be after the nano boost nerfs. You may think with lots of tanks running around, Reaper is pretty good, but that nano boost really helped him out, and Ana really helps Reaper out a lot. So without her, just know that you're not going to be as powerful, and you may not be getting the heals and the help and the support you need, the burst healing you want while playing Reaper. Zarya isn't seen anymore because of her nerfs. And yes, I did say nerfs. Some people said she was like buffed. Her hit scan was definitely improved, yes, but I can hardly call this a buff. It was definitely like a quality of life change. Her hit scan registers much better than before. This doesn't actually help against enemy tanks for Zarya. It helps against squishy targets, yes, but since tanks are the ones defining the meta right now, Zarya has been nerfed in that regard. Zarya used to be able to 1v1 Deva super easily. Honestly, it was a joke. But now, Devas can stomp on Zaryas with just left clicking. There's no skill required. So Zarya just being so outclassed by one of the other tanks, and also being outclassed by a few DPS heroes like Soldier, who can outdamage her at medium range, Zarya is not going to see as much play as before. Good Zaryas will still definitely be able to do some solid work, but she's not as meta reliant and in the meta as she was before. Hopefully this video was helpful to you all. If it was, be sure to leave a like down below and also give me your opinions down there. Maybe subscribe if you really like these videos, if you really want to become a good Overwatch player. This is definitely the channel for you. And yeah, I will see you guys all later. Have a nice day. Lone Hawk out.